I just saw a comment that Tommy said, I'm betting the hair is not going to be big. It only gets bigger as each day passes and we don't wash it. It just gets bigger and bigger. I really just want to pour some sugar on me. I'm just straight up 80s video, and I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. Good afternoon, everybody. I haven't been home for very long. I appreciate everyone coming for this. Hey, Jamie Palmer. Thank you, Noreen. Hey, Kestrel. Hey, Chase the Heat. Mods, thank you for being here. Alana, good to see you. Hey, Iwa. Amanda Deer. Lydia Kraus. Dawn is here. There's quite a few of you. Beach Bum Beagle. Guys, I mean it. Hey, Just Jen. Katie Fulton. Woofy made it. Thank you. I figured you probably would. Tommy likes girls with big hair. Sarah from Cali, D. Marie, thank you. Hey, Cheeky Brat. It's a little too big, to be honest. Hey, Rachel, Muffet Lou, Rain Virus. Thank you, Rain. I'm not crazy about the jewelry today, and I'm glad you said that. Baby Steps, thank you for being here. Hey, Abigail, Tina Mays, Sophia's here. Nana of 12, Itchy Thetans, my other's keeper. Hey, Angie Moe. Debbie Zito. Thank you, Debbie. Hey, Mayor's Girl. Millie, I love seeing you. I do these mid-afternoon streams hoping we'll catch some of you guys. So Millie in the UK and maybe Anna Witt. Hey, Ree. Lacey Silver, Run the World. Robin Miners, the poofy hair. It's poofier than Bo, Robin Miners. And stay tuned. Speaking of Bo, I got a short coming. I recorded today. There's a specific, he's our biggest bull that we have in the backyard. His name is Jeff because he's super beefy. And I recorded him this afternoon and he was pulling some tricks. Jeff was pulling off some tricks. You're going to want to stay tuned. Kathy's going to make a short. Kelly Williams, Goosebump, Ev Barney, good to see you. Arkansas Flamingo, myself, Lori Lee. He's pretty cute. I kind of almost want to show you guys just a sneak peek because he really did some tricks for us today. And I realize I don't know how to put things up on my computer and show you. However, I can show you on my phone. Janet, you guys you're going to want to catch Jeff. He's beefy. He is the beefiest of all. Hey, Tammy, and I'm proud of him. Everybody, this is Jeff. We named him Jeff. He's incredibly beefy. This is my backyard. I'm standing quite close to Jeff. Sorry for the wind noise. And, he's a large man, and some like other Jeffs I know, he doesn't like to be on camera. He doesn't want to, but he's private. He likes his privacy, but he is large, and I thought I would show you Jeff because he's one of the biggest ones I know. He does some tricks. Of all the guys in the backyard here. Look at him. Yeah, Jeff is large. He's a good guy, though. He's a good fellow. All right, Jeff. Have a good weekend. Wanda! What's funny is I think Jeff has taken to Bo. He thinks that Bo is a small calf. Bobo, you know Jeff, right? Yes, you do. Check it out. Jeff. We'll see you. No. You can always come inside if you'd like. Hold on, guys. We're gonna get some barking going on. I want you to see what he does at the end. Hi, Hux. Hey, Huxley. Oh, it's your brother. Yeah. Phil is gonna be here in a minute to replace the light in the kitchen, guys. It's your brother. Okay. Why don't you let that go? Can you let him in? Our handyman's gonna be here in a minute because I don't know how to do anything. Guys, check the end of this. I'm going to make some hot soup. Oh, look at you scratching your head. Watch what he does. He does yoga. He's so cute. You know what else is cute? Lydia, you didn't even say hi to Jeff. You ignored him. Watch this. He's beefy. Jeff does yoga. All right, Jeff. Come on. Are you witnessing this? I didn't know cows could do that. Jeff, you are majestic. He used his back leg to scratch his eyebrow. Jeff he does yoga. He's beefy, but he does yoga. And I was astounded. And I welcomed him in. He's going to come in for dinner later. I'm going to make some hot soup. So there's that. All right. We had to lighten the mood because things are about to get heavy. I named him Jeff with a PH, Meredith Lynn. Yeah. Wanda is in here. Jeff's wife, his ex-wife. I'm also one of the ex-wives club members. Jeff's ex-wife of 36 years is in here, and I find that hilarious that she got to see that. Mariana, welcome. Nice to see you in real time. Yeah, we named him Jeff with a PH because he is this one out in my backyard. He is also he's a Mason. He's of the Masonic crowd. I saw a Masonic, the symbol was branded on one of his cheeks. I saw it. I saw it as he walked away. So it's something to look out for. Is Phil here? Not yet. All right, we're going to get into this. I hope you guys are up for it. Oh, it's heavy. And it's Shelly. I love Wanda too. Hey, Zelda. Hey, VT Kitten. Shirley Priestley. He is flexible but beefy. Beefy and flexible. And that's hard to pull off. I myself can pull that off. If you ask Tommy, I'm rather flexible, yet thick through the middle. And so it's interesting how the two can go together as a combo like such. Corn Pope, thank you for saying that. Hey, Driving Fan. All right. So this is going to be kind of heavy. I hope my fiance is still in here. You here, babe? I know that yesterday was a busy day, but I hope you can be here with us for these recordings as long as you can. I realize you're a busy man and you're on several other channels. Tommy's taken off, guys. He's busy. And hey, Trisha Briggs. But if you could be here with us just to show some support, if you have the time, maybe for the first 20 minutes or so, I wish you were here with me, but you're not. So just being here in the crowd helps, if you don't mind.
Hey, Mom, sorry to interrupt. This popcorn chicken in the fridge.
Oh, yeah, I got that for you. Top shelf.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Forgot that I got some food for the boy. Okay. Thank you, babe, for being here. I appreciate it. Just stay as long as you can. Katie did it. Welcome. Brian Lucas, welcome. Hey, Pam. Hey, Franklin. Thank you, Robin. I want to say thanks, Honey Bunny. I really appreciate that. It means a lot to me. Anna Banana. Hey, Lori Helker. It's really sweet, babe. I guess I should just put this out there. Before we get going, Tiggy, wow. Thank you for being a member. Thank you. Reese, if you're not comfortable or not ready, don't play it. Woofy, that's just not how I operate, but I appreciate that. I push myself and we're just going to do it. And I think it's good for me. Hey, Angel, I think it's good. I think it's therapeutic. But I was thinking about something on my drive home today from running errands. And hey, Joe Virus. Thank you, Joe. Hey, Amy Edge. Yeah, Shell. I'll just say this. I had a new way of thinking. I had some new thoughts today as I was driving home. Listening to this, just the first half of this yesterday, has really affected me more than it ever has. In not a good way. I feel way more emotion about it. I feel a lot more anger toward it. Listening to that conversation yesterday, and I was listening to it just like you guys. I haven't listened to it in over a year. I don't go back and listen to that stuff. Hey, Sherry N. And I really cried a lot in my car today. It was one of those weird cries where I couldn't control it. Like I kept trying to think about other things and it was like my tear ducts just kept producing water. I think, and the reason for that was I started to go down the path of, if you recall yesterday in one of those recordings, I said to her, I don't have any friends. I never felt like I had friends. And I feel like I have friends today, but I've also had people who have really let me down, stabbed me in the back, lied to me, said they were one thing, did another. Uh, Maybe goosebump, but I was thinking about it. I mean, we've all experienced that, right? It's not like I'm special and you guys haven't experienced that too. But I think more important than that, the need to I love you too. The need to Hey Simone, hey Alicia, the need to stay strong and remain emotionless and go through what that story that, the Dan O'Connor story and all of that, and to listen to Kathy have no emotion is exactly why I'm playing these audios. Whether it be Jester stuff or Scientology stuff, it pulls back that curtain of how people really are when they're comfortable in their environment, not the PR version, the real version. And we have that with the Jesters, and we have that especially with Scientology. And I realized how much I was just like Kathy. So when I was telling that story in the recording yesterday, you heard I was emotionless too. As I was telling the story, I was like, and then he hit me over the head with a fax machine. And then I was peeing blood and I went to a hospital. It was just very matter of fact. And I realized how different I am now. This is what I mean. I realize looking at that, how emotionless and how much thousands of hours of training I've had to be emotionless, right? My training was showing in those audios because I just was going through the motions of what happened. And neither of us, do I still need closure? I need closure with everything, Pam. Yeah, I've got a lot of open stuff that I need closed for my mental well-being. And I said yesterday, I don't think Scientologists don't use depressed. We don't use that word. We don't use PTSD. We don't use any of those terms. And we're not really allowed to examine that feeling, even if it was manifesting itself. So I think I probably am a little bit more depressed than I'm willing to take a look at. And, that'll be for therapy. And obviously we'll talk about it here. I don't have a problem talking about anything, but re-listening to these has really made me examine how desensitized I truly was to I, I go back to when I was 6 and they put me on the cans and they asked me if I have sexual thoughts about my father. They asked me if I have sexual thoughts about siblings, dogs, animals, if I touch myself inappropriately. Um, I think that probably did more to me than I am able to process at the moment. And I think the reason I bring that specific moment up is because that's where it all began. And then I think I was around 6 when I started really hardcore bull baiting with older men. And I gave you this example, but I remember it very clearly. And I didn't even know what sex was, right? At 6. I had to clear it, the terms on the cans with an auditor. And I remember this older gentleman pretending to get between my legs, like get between my thighs. I was 6 and pretending to perform oral sex. And I remember how uncomfortable that was for me, but also having to keep a straight face, having to pass, right? You have to drill it to a pass. And so I think about that stuff still. And I think how much I'm like, yeah, it was terrible, but no, I think that's heavier than I realized for me. And I know that's basic and simple to say, like, duh, yeah, Reese, you think? I think I haven't dealt with it. I think because it was so normal for me. And now here we are discussing this with regular outside non Scientology people who are so protective and kind and supportive of me. I feel like you guys were already there and I've been catching up to you. Like all of you have been like, this is pure abuse. And I'm like, everybody's been through something. I justify it. I do that with my last marriage. I do that with most men that I've been with who have been abusive to me, crossing lines, calling me names, verbally abusing me, even. I go, And I think that had started when I was 6. I think my self worth never grew. My self esteem was, and you are absolutely right, babe. This is the absolute truth right here. And I was thinking that in my car as I was crying today. This is what you have come to do in your own time, though, Reese. You can't hear it from someone else. I've been thinking that for a long time. And I say that about anybody who's addicted to drugs, smoking, alcohol, whatever it may be. You cannot make somebody quit smoking. They have to realize that they're asking for trouble with their body, right? You cannot make anybody do anything. And so what he's saying is absolutely accurate. I had to work through this on my own, and I still haven't fully worked through it. I still haven't, I know I haven't, because there's so many, even in my life now, there's just so many red flags that I allow. And I think I need to buck up a little bit and just have a little bit more self-worth, a little bit more self-esteem. And it's going to be hard to get because I'm now 40 and finding it now and building it up and trying to see what I'm worth and know that, I shouldn't allow certain things in my life is going to be difficult, if that makes sense. Is drilling it to a pass making the needle float? No, actually, Muffet Lou, not bull baiting. Bull baiting is drilling it to a pass. You sit in front of each other. You've got the coach and you've got the student. And when the supervisor says start, the coach, the coach does everything and anything they can possibly do to the student to upset them, to make them laugh, to make them cry, to do whatever they can to create a reaction. Once you've created that reaction, you have what's called a button on it. Once you find the button, my mom is texting me. Hold on. Okay. Thank you. Once you find the button, you have to flatten it. And what that means is, for instance, the gentleman who got in between my thighs, right? I was probably, if I remember, I mean, it's very cloudy. I was 6 years old. I remember more how I felt mentally. I'm not sure how I reacted physically, but I think I was very uncomfortable with an older man getting between my legs as a small child and what he was doing. I remember he was going, he was doing like trying to get near, right? And so I think if I can recall, I moved and I was like backing up and the supervisor would go, flunk, you reacted. And then you go, okay. And then they go, start. And I have to sit like this and they have to repeat the exact same action that they did. Same words, same motions, same everything. The way they animated themselves, all of that. And if I do anything, let's just say this time, instead of me going like this, let's just say I go, flunk, flunk. You reacted. So we got to flatten that button. Okay. It's a button now for you and we have to flatten it. Thanks, Mom. So then let's just say it gets better and better, but it's not quite there. So she says, start. And I sit there and this time I don't move at all, but I go, if I move my mouth, flunk, you reacted. So the guy is going to keep doing the same thing repeatedly over and over and over until uh excuse me, until I sit there and I have zero reaction. And mind you, a reaction is simply this, right? Let's say the person gets in your face and goes, and the person goes, that's a reaction. It doesn't matter. If you over blink, if you do that, you have to continue the exact same motions, words, sounds, everything over and over and over until we get that flat. I realize I'm kind of harping on this and dragging it out, but it's important because I did that as a grown woman, as a grown adult, hours. I mean, you do TRs probably more as a Scientologist. You probably do that more than anything. TRs are a part of everything. And so you do that repeatedly. And that's another reason Scientologists, for instance, my father, until we stopped seeing each other in life. That's why one time I was at a funeral. I was 16. I was at a funeral and he was sitting next to me. It was a family member that died that was my age. It was my cousin. He was 16. He died in a car accident. And I was bawling. I lost it. I just started crying. And my dad hit me so hard in the ribs. Like it was one of those things where I kind of lost, what do you call that? Like knocks the wind out of you. Hit me so hard that it like, I felt like he broke a rib. And he went, get your TRs in. He used to say that to me all the time. My dad would say that to me before I knew what TRs were. He would say, get your TRs in. Scientologists say that around the clock. What happened to the cellist's first wife? Nothing. She got away. She's lucky. She didn't have kids with him and she got away. She cheated on him, apparently. Side note. But that's one of the biggest things we train. That's why I say to you guys, like when haters reach out and try to get one over on me by sending me some email, and telling me I'm a terrible mother or something like that. That's why I say I train for this. Like I'm sorry, but you're dealing with a bit of a professional here. Now, if I love you and you're close to me in my life and you stab me in the back or you hurt my feelings or you say something to me that's going to tear me down, that's going to sting. It's going to hurt. But when people do things to try to push those buttons, I don't have any kind of a reaction. Doesn't bother me at all. Doesn't bother me at all. What does TR stand for? Training routine. Training routine. The cult of Scientology needs to be shut down. All these control groups need to go. Well, that is an understatement, babe. Absolutely. Yes. It's so true. But I just have to point that out and really, really, I want to communicate well to you guys. That's why Kathy had no emotion yesterday on that phone call. As I told her, your brother hit me over the head. Your brother choked me. I started urinating blood and I had to go to a hospital when I was 16. And what did she do for those that were there? She was like, how old were you? 16. Okay. Mm-hmm. Well, I know that he's done really good things for you too. Like he's done really good things to help you. She had no thought or emotion about that. None. And if you notice, I didn't either. And that gets to me. Was there no love allowed? Pam, I mean, I don't know what you would call it. It's not unconditional love like you guys have out here in the real world. It's love based on the condition that you do what we tell you to do, that you train and you become the best Scientologist you can be. And if you step out of line, we will not be there to support you. There is no such thing. I mean, I was raised this way. There's no such thing as I will always be here for you no matter what. Like there's nothing you could do that would make me not love you. I have not had many relationships like that in my life. And I think that's one of the reasons that I reach and pretty much beg for attention with especially men. I think that's why I don't seek internally what I need. I think that's why I'm often too much for people, but mainly the relationships with the men I've had in my life. I think that's why I'm overwhelming. And I have to do something about that. I cannot, that's a bad pattern, and I can't continue to seek and rely on people. Essentially, I feel like it's that whoever said it, that quote, just made me think of it. If you don't heal what hurt you, you will bleed on people who didn't do anything to you, who didn't cut you or whatever it is. But you essentially you will bleed all over people that had nothing to do with your trauma. And that's a problem. But I think there are some things that I'm recognizing in myself listening to these calls. And it just I feel so much more angry this time. I feel Phil's here. Bo's gonna bark. I feel like I have been very used by people, and I see that more clearly. Woofy, it's fine. It's perfectly fine. This is part of probably my training. We push ourselves. Like there is no turning back. I've never been the type of person that will say, this is too much. I have to step away. It's just not how I operate. Like we're doing it. Hell or high water. I know, but it's just Phil. And you know Phil. And you're a great person. I know. It's upsetting. Okay. All right. Come here. Come here. It's okay. It's just Phil. And you know Phil. And Phil's a good person, just like you are. Okay? You're okay. You're doing a good job, though. You're doing what you should. Okay. Gertrude, don't enable your brother. Okay. Huxley, can you let your brother out, please, so he can see what's happening? You're enabling your brother, Gertrude. Okay. Bad time, guys. I'm sorry. Yeah. I agree with this. Thank you. Oh, look at your baby. Okay. All right, guys, let's calm down. And you shouldn't enable your brother like that. Okay. But you are so cute. If you're too much for people, they can go find less. And I absolutely agree with that. It's just putting it into action is an entirely different thing. Yeah, Stampede. Okay, you're going to sit in this chair and everybody's going to act right about their life. I'm going to get to the tapes now, to the audio recordings. Barpo, that's so kind. Thank you for being on the replay crew. That's really nice. Thank you. I mean it, guys. I want to thank everybody for being here. I said this the other day. Listening to this stuff is harder alone than it is with you guys. But that's what my channel's about at the same time. This channel is about healing. We go everywhere, and you know this, right? So processing for me, speaking is best for me to just do it and process it with you guys. And so that's how I do it. And I'm very comfortable doing that. So thank you for being here. I'm going to get these super chats real quick. I remember when you always said you had no friends. Now you do. Sometimes they are great. Sometimes they turn out not to be. But you are putting yourself out there, being vulnerable. And I think that is growth. Love you. I appreciate that so much, Alana. I'm trying to look at it that way. I've had people that I really, really love betray me, lie to me. And I think I just want to touch on that real quick. I think I just want a relationship. I just want relationships with people. I just want truth. Bye, Phil. I just want truthful, honest relationships with people. And when I don't get that, it's so hard because I don't have relationships. I never really did in my life. This is the first time outside of Scientology is the first time I've had real relationships with people where I could be myself. I could say what I want because I'm not going to get written up. I'm not going to be put on the cans. I can just be your friend, your lover, whatever it is, right? And I think that makes me grip harder onto you. I can't see Wyatt anymore, Muffet Lou. Unfortunately, my therapist can't see me anymore because of licensing issues for him. But I think because this is new to me and I want so bad, like love and relationships and that engagement and just honest communication, it hurts so much more if I love you and you lie to me or you say one thing and do another, or you stab me in the back. I get, like, again, I'm not special. Okay. I understand that nobody likes that. Right. But some people have had lifelong relationships with people. Some people have had college friends and, they have people they can fall back on. Tommy always talks about that 5 thing, like having your 5. I've never had that. So when I feel like I meet someone and I'm like, lately, just being out of Scientology, it's like I just am starry-eyed about everything. Everything is so new to me. I feel like I'm tasting things for the first time. I'm seeing the sun in a lot of ways for the first time. And I made a lot of friendships since I've been out, and I lost a lot of those. I had a lot of people stab me in the back. And I think it's just hard for me because I cling. I'm very clingy, very clingy. So that's all I'll say about that. I'm not going to stop trying to be friends with people. I'm not going to stop that. It's just, I don't know. I want it to be unconditional. It was abuse. I feel so bad for that little girl that is still a part of you. Hugs you will heal with time, love, and support. Yeah, baby steps. I have no doubt about that, by the way. Thank you for saying that. Thank you for your super chat. Church required child abuse. Yeah, I cry for all the hurt children. Unfortunately, I am so exposed to the stories of hurt children in my current job. That's horrible, and I'm sorry. It's terrible. And guys, I mean, I do, like Tommy and I both, this is such a special place in our hearts. It is for him. He never grew up in Scientology. He wasn't a Scientologist, but it is for him because he's with one and he knows stories just like you guys do, right? And so we want that. Tommy and I are very much a strong team when it comes to thinking about the kids going through that right now. There are kids going through that today. I have friends no longer, right? But I have a lot of people in Scientology that I know that have kids that are going through exactly the motions of my upbringing today, right now, in present time. Tommy and I hate that. And we wish there was a way to stop that. And we also have an extreme passion about the jesters and sex cults and the women who are being exploited and used and the wives and the prostitutes, all of that. And this year, we're going to try to tackle all of this as much as we can. We really are. It's a newfound passion for me to help those women as much as I possibly can because I was one of them. And Wanda was one of them. And she's in the chat right now. And I want to, I'm so sorry, Jolie. I want to try to get the Scientologists out, but I can speak more to that because I was one. I don't see that happening. I don't think that we're going to save, hey, Claire with an I, a lot of kids. I mean, I hate to sound pessimistic like that, but it's going to be tough. But I still think exposure means everything. If we can't get them out, right, we still should expose this and pull that curtain back as much as we can. And I am hell bent on doing that. And you guys know that. And they're absolutely heart wrenching. I do think of the little girl holding those cans and having somebody crawl between her legs. Yeah, it was terrible. And I don't think, Tommy, that I processed it enough, if that makes sense. I don't think I've ever looked at it. Every time I think about it, I'm like, who hasn't been through something? That's how I brush it off. I blow it off every time. I'm like, everybody had a weird upbringing. Not necessarily to that degree. And some people had it way worse. But it's not a race, nor is it a comparison to other people. This is my channel, and I talk about the things I experienced. And I think if we can't get current Scientologists out, we can at least expose this a lot of light. And we're going to do the same thing with the jesters. Does the world know that I taught Gertrude to eat? No, but you really changed that for her. Guys, Gertie, I have to stand there and sing to her every night to eat dinner. And she eats out of a bowl. And Tommy said, try feeding her on a plate. Well, first he had to hand feed her with a fork. And that was just ridiculous. But he said, try putting it on a plate. And now I put it on a plate and she eats every night. It's because she was getting food on her Lorax mustache. And he solved that problem for us. And it's incredible. I'm so thankful, babe. Thank you for your super chat, babe. Did you get out on the cans for the chats you would have with Kathy, the ones we listened to the other? Did you get out on the cans for the chats? I don't understand your question, Shannon C. That's because you hate the word victim, but you're not a victim. You're a survivor. You're a champion. You're a warrior. Thank you, Love Bunny. It's very sweet of you. Sarah from Cali, that's really kind. Thank you for your super sticker, babe. Noreen, it's okay to be emotional, Reese, and thank you for educating us about cults. That's huge. Thank you for saying that. I realize I'm kind of all over the place. We're 38 minutes in. I haven't even started, but I wanted to share my thoughts. So I appreciate that validation, Noreen, and thank you for your super chat. Thankfully now, like Helen Keller, when she energetically learned to communicate. Rue, I don't know much about, I think this is my embarrassing, uneducated self talking. I'm guessing, here's what I know about Helen Keller. She was in the Holocaust. I think I'm right, but I don't know. I don't know who that is. But thank you for your super chat. Piggybacking on Pam, did the lack of love make reconnecting with your mother difficult? Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, my mother and I have never had, there was a huge chunk of time missing that we'll never get back. Luckily, my mother and I are close now, but we never had that relationship growing up. Woofy, you're brilliant. Just want you to know that. And I want you to know that you were singing. Oh, and I want to know what you were singing. Oh, okay. Absolutely. Thank you for your super chat, Woofy. Eating our tins living our life, pooping outside, doing it right. And then you just circle back with those lyrics. It's just the same thing over and over. And then if she still doesn't eat and I have to do this for about 30 minutes. By the time we get to 40 minutes, I just go, blee, 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 deedly dee, tweedly dee, because I get really tired of it and I get very upset. And then I start going, I'm really getting pissed. You're making me mad. I want to go sit down. Yeah. I wish you could hear Tommy sing it because he's even better. Tommy's really good at it. Did your mother get out of Scientology? Yes, 1991. My mother was a Scientologist from like 1979 to 1991. Yeah, it's unbelievable. Okay, here we go. So I'm going to start this. I'm sorry that we're so far in, but I kind of wanted to give that background. I'm going to pull Tommy on one of these days and he's going to sing it. And if he doesn't, he's going to be real sorry with life. He's going to be feeling sad. All right. So we played 3 of these yesterday. He's very good at singing her song. He is. It's so cute. Tommy will get down with her on the floor, hand feed her with a fork, and he'll go, eating our dins, pooping outside. Yeah, it's adorable. And it's probably one of the biggest things I miss. All right. So yesterday, I'm going to play the last, I don't know if this will help or not. I feel like I should play the last minute of yesterday's call so we can go into today's, if that makes sense. To catch you up, I had just told Kathy about how her brother sent me to the hospital because he hit me over the head with a fax machine. And her response was, I mean, well, I don't want to shut you up, but like, what could be done about that? Like, what could we do? And she kept saying, I don't want to, like, we're not trying to shut you up here, but like, what can we do to make it better? Knowing that she's known this story for decades. She even says that. Like, she's known about this for a long time. The only reason that she's saying, what can we do now is because Flag is breathing down her throat, doing damage control, getting all the info out of me they can so that we can say, what can we do? What can we do? How can we solve this now? Even though I've been complaining, screaming, writing reports, shouting it to everyone in Scientology how upset I am about this for decades. But now it matters. Now we want to do something about it. So that's kind of where we left off. And she just kept going, I know, but I know my brother's done some really good things for you too. So that's insane. You are a woman I look up to. Keep growing, puppy paws. Wow. That's huge. Thank you for saying that. That's a huge compliment. And thank you for being a member. What is Flag? Flag is the Mecca, they call it. It's Flag land base. It's located in Clearwater, Florida. Penny. Flag is where the upper echelons of Scientology exist. Now, there's also the Sea Org is at Flag, LA, Australia. They've got Sea Org all over the world. But Flag is where you do there's a lot of Flag only auditing actions. It's the elite of Scientology. It's ground zero. Yeah, it's where the cool, rich ass people go to do service. You're a big deal if you go to Flag. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, here we go. I'm going to play like the last minute of this call, if that makes sense, just because then we can go into the one for today. To some people.
Any mistake anyone should make, overt, you can use whatever word you want. I'm not saying mistake to mitigate anything, okay? Mm-hmm. Like, a man punches a woman in the face, it's probably wrong to call that a mistake. Okay?
Probably. Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Yes.
So any harm, mistake, overt, sin, crime, let me just put it all in one word, okay? Mm-hmm. Any shit one person or group does to another person that harms them, I believe should be repaired. Mm-hmm. Now, sometimes the repair is a little hard to imagine. A man cheats on his wife. What's the repair? Someone's child gets hit by a car and killed. What's the repair? Mm-hmm. You know, and I think it's different depending on the circumstances. Was the driver drunk? Did the driver just not see the child in the black of night? Like, what happened? You know, either way, something is almost irreparable. That child is not coming back. I'm sorry to go on and on, but it is important. I've thought about this for years and years when people do liability conditions, because it says make up the damage,
Right.
you know?
Right.
Well, and lots of times people do something that has nothing to do with the damage.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so that's the end of that. And liability, by the way, is what's part of our lower conditions. We call lower conditions. I've probably done more lower conditions than most people in Scientology. Thank you, Lifeboat. My fiance got it for me. It's when you're in trouble, you have to make up the damage, which she just said. And it usually when you make up the damage, you're doing that for 6 to 8 months, scrubbing toilets. You're lower than human. No one talks to you. That's what she's saying. Like when people do liability, making up the damage. Okay. So here we go. We're going to go into the next call.
I don't know. I could come up with lots of things, but if you've stolen gum from the grocery store and you bring back gum or go pay them, you've made up the exact damage. The time that Spencer threw a snowball when he was a kid at the school gym board with other boys and they knocked out some of the lights, I walked Spencer into the principal, and the principal said, yeah, each light cost $1.20 or whatever it was, and Spencer, out of his own money, paid the principal and told him what he did wrong. That was good enough.
Well, yeah. I get what you mean on the liability thing.
Yeah. So that's where you come in. I think if you can find some way of expressing yourself,
yes,
and demand might be a harsh word, but insist that some particular thing is said or done to your satisfaction. That's not for the purpose of shutting you up, but keeping you from feeling like you need to be in a fight about it, asserting that something should be done about something.
I have to stop it there. This is what the 4th time she has said. This isn't to shut you up, but what can we do about it? How obvious are we going to get here? The only thing I wish I would have done is said, look, if you guys want to give me 15 mil, you'll never hear from me again. Okay. Thank you, honey bun. How did you get these recordings? In my living room. I recorded these in my living room. And I say this a lot. I had no intention. I didn't have a YouTube channel. I had no intention of sharing this with the world one day, the real sassafras. And you'll know that because pretty soon I start building an ark. I'm unloading the dishwasher. My husband at the time is about to get probably loud again. He had a bellowy, loud voice. So I did this because I felt like I'm being gaslit and I wanted to be able to go back and listen to this. Also, I was in big trouble and the stakes were high. So I wanted to be able to go back and listen to this once I was planning to probably pay the price and go in session and be in trouble and get through it and be a good Scientologist again. I had no idea all this was going to blow up so bad. I had an idea because I knew I got doxxed by Aaron, but I was trying to weigh out my options on how am I going to fix this, right? I don't know. Maybe for abusing me, he didn't. He's done lower conditions, Paula, but it was for cheating on his wife years ago. All right, here we go. I'm going to back that up 15 seconds. I just think it's so funny that she keeps saying, not to shut you up, not to shut you up.
To your satisfaction. It's not for the purpose of shutting you up, but keeping you from feeling like you need to be in a fight about it. Asserting that something should be done about something because something's been done about it, not because you've been shut up. That's what I'm saying.
I don't know if that's possible. I know what you're saying, but I don't know that that's possible. I don't know that what can be done about it. I don't know that we're going to stop getting calls that are like, I got this report here that your dad calls you 2.5%. You don't seem like that to me.
Right.
It's just constant triggers. It's like, yeah, that's not really appropriate. What you just said. I guess I just expect more. It's from a group that calls themselves, pretty elite, out of the mud more than others, better than the rest. Then fucking show me that. Don't show me a bunch of Dave Sutters and Gene Wallies because they're fucking duds.
My dad.
I mean, you're talking to better than that.
I don't.
I'm right now on the phone with somebody who did improve with Scientology, did get help with Scientology. And I'm not saying that I know you don't want me to like rub that in a.
That doesn't bother me, Kathy. That doesn't bother me. I know you've had real success. I haven't. When I hear Brenda say, well, he's not trained or he's not clear, that's a bunch of bullshit. The guy could attest to OT 15 this afternoon. He's still not going to admit that he has children, or he's going to say that they're his words.
She laughs at the weirdest, most awkward times. I'm going to stop that for you, Kathy. Who is Dave Sutter? Dave Sutter is my uncle. He's my dad's brother. They hate each other so much. He changed his last name, so he's not Dave Wally, which is also odd because they're both Scientologists and have been since the 70s. Another huge red flag to hate another Scientologist and not speak. And Dave Sutter is almost worse than my dad. He's a horrible person. Horrible. And he's a sleaze bag. He's gross. He's a creep. So that's why I said, don't show me good examples of Scientologists. I said, don't show me Dave Sutter and Gene Wallies. I said, because they're fucking duds. Excuse my language. And she laughed and she says, well, you're talking to better than that. You're talking to better than that, Tommy. Okay, I'll stop. All right, I'm going to back that up 15 seconds.
When I hear Brenda say, well, he's not trained or he's not clear, that's a bunch of bullshit. The guy could attest to OT 15 this afternoon. He's still not going to admit that he has children, or he's going to say that they're, his words, the most degraded beings on planet Earth. He equates me to Hitler. That's ridiculous. Something should be done about that. I don't know what. I'm not a Scientologist. I don't know what you guys would do for that, whatever, would come of that. But it's not okay to me that he just keeps celebrating, because he keeps donating money.
Right. I want to figure out something to do about that. Okay.
Okay.
I'm gonna talk to my MAA about that. And yes,
I just don't know. I can't come up with any idea as to what possibly could be done about that. I think what they're going to tell me is, Reese, look, we're sorry this happened to you, but you need to shut the fuck up because you're going to get declared. You can't talk about our transgressions.
Nobody's going to threaten you, Marisa. I'm going to be your person, and I really just don't want you to talk to anybody else about it anymore. Will you do that for me?
Sure, but I think Brenda knows.
That's fine. I'm going to get a hold of Brenda. I'm going to get a hold of the MAA and then start figuring out what I can do about something. And I'm like 99% sure that you communicating with Aaron Smith-Levitt, what he put on that video, is not anywhere in the ballpark of getting you declared. If there's something more, you need to tell me so I can head on do it. But you told me there's nothing else.
There's nothing else. He knows. I mean, he knows my upset with my dad. He doesn't give a shit about that. He knows more than what was on that text, of course. He knows that I have upsets in Scientology, but he has never talked about it.
Okay. I didn't watch anything else that he did because in that moment I was like,
as far as I know, there's nothing with me on it because I don't have any newsworthy stuff. Now, when you say if there's something else I need to know, tell me. I'm telling you right now. Aaron Smith-Levin knows details about my being on staff when I was joined when I was 13. He knows I was in the cadet org.
okay, I understand you.
So, I mean, he knows things like that, but I can't think of anything. I mean,
You were in a cadet org?
yeah. Yeah, it was a fucking prison.
When did you go to the cadet org?
When I was 7.
Oh, that's why I don't know.
Yeah.
How'd you go there?
When my mom left and married Jeff Kittinger, my dad put our house up for sale and said, we're going to Clearwater to live. And
Your dad joined the Sea Org?
yeah. And he took me and Brianna, and the day we got there, we were all split up and we were there for 9 months. I never saw either one of them ever again. And it was a fucking prison. I hated it. And I got really sick and I threw up all the time. And then my dad woke me up at like 3:00 in the morning, 9 months later, and he was like, shh, we're leaving. And we went and got Brianna out of her little room with her people, and we somehow got into his Pontiac GTO that he drove down, and we put the top down and drove the fuck home, and our house was still for sale. So we just took it off the market.
There's things I don't know, huh?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
So,
right. So
yeah.
Erin knows some stuff when you were in staff, the cadet org, upset with your dad.
Yeah. I'm trying to think what else he knows. I mean, I've talked to him physically, like on the phone twice, and both times were probably 10 minutes. So I crammed it all into that. I don't think he really cared about that. I think he probably wants real newsworthy stuff that he can like press charges or.
Come on, he probably wants more PT stuff.
Right. I don't know. I think he wanted to know if
PT is present time. And I'm going to answer these real quick. How old are these recordings? This is from January 9th, 2023. And is she still in Scientology? Absolutely. She's either OT8 now or she's still on OT7. So yes, and we will get back to it. But PT means present time. And I'm going to back that up 15 seconds. So we run over it again.
It all into that. I don't think he really cared about that. I think he probably wants real newsworthy stuff that he can like press charges or.
Come on, he probably wants more PT stuff.
Right. I don't know. I think he wanted to know if the Shane thing is statutory rape by law. And I think he wanted to know if the statute of limitations is lifted in Missouri. I have no idea. I didn't look into it. Because that
what was the statutory rape?
Well, Shane and I were sleeping together when I was 14.
What year was that?
98.
That sounds right to me too. How old was Shane?
Like 30.
Oh.
So he was between, I think, like 29 and 33 or 4. I don't know exactly what his age was, but
he was 24. I got that wrong, and I've since talked to him. Do you guys see that, like what I talked about at the beginning of this? It didn't faze her when I talked about her brother hitting a 15, 16-year-old over the head with a fax machine. And she's just collecting information. What year was this? That sounds right. Like, not, oh, you were 14 sleeping with a man in his 20s? Yeah, we need to fix that. That's really effed up. We should make sure that never happens again. Nope. She ran right over it. That sounds right. What a friend. Did I file charges? No, because it was outside the statute of limitations, Woofy, unfortunately. What do you get at the different OT levels? I know level 8 is the highest, but what's the difference between someone and level 3 and 4, if that makes sense? Well, you get a different EP, which is an end phenomena on each one. And I haven't done them. I'd have to look at a grade chart to show, it shows what the end phenomena of each level is. Like some of them are like the ability to communicate with anything, anywhere, anytime, the ability to recall your entire whole past life track for 76 trillion years. Like each one has new abilities that you unlock as a being, but you get stronger and stronger the more OT you go. It's becoming more what LRH says, native state. Now, again, I didn't do them, so I don't know entirely. There's just a lot that you go through. So I'm going to back that up 30 seconds this time, because I really want you guys to hear her just lack of any kind of emotion about that.
No idea. I didn't look into it. Because that
what was the statutory rape?
Well, Shane and I were sleeping together when I was 14.
What year was that?
98.
That sounds right to me too. How old was Shane?
Like 30.
Oh.
So he was between, I think, like 29 and 33 or 4. I don't know exactly what his age was, but.
I mean, it doesn't seem like that would be of any interest to Erin. Shane's not been a Scientologist for a really long time.
No, I think he was just more like, see, this is what I mean. All the staff knew about it. Pretty much everyone would have gone to jail for that. No one cared. And I was like,
I see.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't have any PT stuff. Obviously, I have no PT stuff. I'm not looking, my intent is not to sue Scientology or take them down like his is.
All right.
I just hate.
That's my beef.
Oh.
That's my beef. I've never had a I mean, do I love that you have upsets, the stuff with Gene? I don't love that. If I could fix them, I would fix them. And I will do what I can now, far too late, to do something about them that might possibly help with grandma's vase that cannot possibly be put back together or bought anywhere.
Yeah.
But
I don't feel like you need to do that, Kathy. I'm not asking you to do that. I don't need you to do that. And do make that clear, whoever you talk to. I'm not interested in calling the police or going out and talking about it with I'm not going to, press charges or what have you. I just have a lot of hatred toward things that have happened and we're just swept under.
Good. And I want to move that forward in some way that makes you feel like you don't have to fight to talk to Aaron Smith-Levin, to get it put on YouTube, to, whatever. And I understand why you did that. Okay? I do.
Yeah. And, your MAA may already know about this because I did talk to that. I would say that was 6 weeks ago. No, yeah, Sophia. And she asked me, she was like, what do you want to see happen to Scientology? Do you want to
Yeah, but did she know about the video?
Well, no, because it was before that. Right. No, yeah. But she did ask me if I wanted to see Scientology harmed. And I said, no, I want people to fucking have to own up for what they did. I said, I'm not interested in people going to jail. I'm not interested in telling the authorities. I just feel like you guys should fucking fix your inside shit.
I agree with you. Okay. I want to try to help. How long did you, not how long, but how did you initially make connection with Aaron? Was it through Facebook?
What is an MAA? It's a master at arms. It's an ethics officer. It's the person who polices the organization. So she's going to talk to the master at arms. I'm just backing that up 15 seconds.
The authorities, I just feel like you guys should fucking fix your inside shit.
I agree with you. Okay. I want to try to help. How long did you,
I can tell.
Not how long, but how did you initially make connection with Aaron? Was it through Facebook, on a phone call, email?
Yeah, through Brianna. She had me talk to him through Facebook.
Okay. And does he have stuff in writing or just your conversation?
Just my conversation.
So just the 2 times. Okay, fine. And he didn't put you in touch with anybody else?
No.
Okay. So are you willing to never talk to Aaron again? If we can make some kind of headway on this and, keep things not a problem family-wise and stuff?
I mean, probably. I don't know the guy that well. I don't feel like he's like a family friend or anything, but...
That's all I need for me. Between you, and this is about you and me right now, okay?
Yeah. But I'm also not going to follow the rules like I'm a Scientologist, as far as... Yeah, I don't have much to say to the guy anyway, is what I'm saying. He's not like a...
I know that. That's not really what I'm saying. I'm saying to you right now, hey, remember Jane, the girl who wants to fucking take me out, who tries to beat me up every day, every campaign, and the things I love every time she gets a chance? Well, you and me are really good friends. I don't know how you can be friends with her and be friends with me at the same time. That's what I'm really saying to you. That's it. That's between you and me. That's me deciding on my own coat of arms before I even call an MAA saying, do I want to remain in a relationship with Marisa? And I do.
Right. I know what you're saying.
Okay. I'm saying this between you and me. This has nothing to do with Brenda, Fiona. That's a different thing, and I will call my MAA and see what I can do to help with all of that.
I appreciate you doing this, but Kathy, I also am I'm so Gene Wally about this stuff. Jeff tells me this all the time. I am so willing to give up and disconnect from anything and anyone. So
I'm gonna be a kind of a weirdo and say something else. I also don't believe it's good for you. I believe I'm good for you.
Fuck does that even mean?
That's so dumb.
I think you're good for me too, but what I'm saying is I'm willing to lose everyone. I know that's a terrible thing to say.
What? Though, what do you accomplish by losing us? It's like you're pushing me away instead of just saying I'm willing to lose you. There's a different thing. This isn't on me. This is on you. This isn't me going, I don't want to be friends with Marisa. I'm begging you to not do that.
Based on your rules is what I'm saying. Based on
it's not. It's my personal. If God, how do I explain this to you? It seems so obvious to me, and I'm sure you get it. Like, if I were right now to become good friends with Gene Wally, it would change your friendship with me forever.
No, it wouldn't. So many people are friends with Gene Wally.
That's
wouldn't
my
bother
dad.
me. Amanda O'Connor and Dan O'Connor love his shit all the time.
You are not friends with Amanda and Dan the way that I am.
That is correct and will always
you.
be true.
No, the way that I am with you.
Right. No, I know. I'm just saying it doesn't bother me. That wouldn't bother me. I'm saying I'm willing to lose everyone if I were to get an SP declare and it was not stoppable and you couldn't do anything about it. I know
you need to
what
stop being willing to lose everyone. You need to stop being willing to lose everyone.
Well, I think that comes from my background. It's very.
I get that. I get why you're where you're at, but that's not a threat that's actually going to be made.
Okay, but the disconnection policy is over our heads as Scientologists all the fucking time.
I've literally never had it used over my head. To me, that's a complete and total internet spread.
Oh, fuck. Not for me growing up.
Shit. I know. That's why I said, sadly for you and me, you have not moved along and progressed as Scientology progressed. Does that make okay the overs that Scientology has? Blah, blah, blah. No, but things do grow. They do change. I mean, are you the same person you were when you were 16 years old?
But the policy is the same, right? Things haven't changed.
But the policy can be misapplied by people doing stupid shit. And I've misapplied policy doing stupid shit. I've probably thought, gosh, when I divorced David and that whole thing went down, I thought that if I got a divorce, I would probably get in trouble. I never got in trouble. Stuff I thought was going to happen never happened. I want to tell you this, I feel 100% free today on OT7 to say whatever I truly think and whatever I truly feel without any fear of what would happen.
Which makes sense because you wouldn't step outside of what you're supposed to step outside of anyway, though. What are you going to truly say that's going to violate anything?
I mean, I see things wrong too, Reese.
Okay.
I mean, when I see things wrong, I say something. I'm intense about it. I would say I'm an intense person.
Okay.
So I'm not trying to say you're wrong. We have a road ahead of us. But no, I don't think you'll be declared over this. I think that, I can put this communication on the line and try to do something to help, especially toward Gene Wally. Maybe some acknowledgement from Dan over that thing. I have no idea because I don't even want to acknowledge it occurred myself, except for to acknowledge you. I did not know about it.
I don't really want to hear from Dan. I don't want that acknowledged. I really don't like your brother. I don't like Amanda. I don't think
it wasn't fair for you to bring them up. Like, no, they talked to Gene and I'm fine with it. I'm like, come on, that's not the same.
It's not the same. I don't really care for them. I wouldn't.
You and I are so close.
I don't care if I ever talk to Dan again. I don't. It's very different between me and Dan and me and you. Of course it is. It always has been.
Yeah, and so if I suddenly befriended Gene, I disagree with you. I believe there's no way you wouldn't feel betrayed.
I don't know that I would, Kathy. He's at Flag all the time. You're at Flag all the time. That doesn't surprise me.
I've never seen Gene. I saw him one time in passing like 2 years ago. They're not even a comm cycle occurs.
Oh, okay.
I am not a friend of Gene's. Do not know Gene. Would not become Gene's friend because I'm telling you, I'm intense this way.
Well, I also think that you know a lot of things that happened between him and my mom and how he treated her. And I think that also goes back for you that you've always said I'm Team Diane. Like it goes before me. You know some dirty things that he's done. I just think
I was probably too young to know, to be honest. Like I was a 16, 17-year-old supervisor when your mom went through that.
Okay.
She didn't tell me. But I mean, I could see that your mom was, for me, I could see at that time that your mom was a beautiful, sweet, sort of soft-spoken person.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know her that way, but that's how I knew her to be.
Oh, I definitely feel that way about my mom. I just think that you're aware that my dad has done some evil fucking tricks, and that's not
I believe it,
accounted
but
for.
I'm not personally, to be honest, I'm not personally aware of anything that didn't come from you or Jeff Kittinger. And Jeff Kittinger obviously was a dog with a bone with that. But I'm your friend. I'm not doubting everything you've ever told me.
Yeah, I know
I'm
that.
not. But it comes from you.
I don't expect you to help. I appreciate you going to do what you're going to do. Do it to clean it up on your end if you need to. But I also don't feel like I've done anything wrong. I don't see.
I'm not asking you to be penitent about getting yourself heard and your feelings understood and do anything you can about it. I'm not.
Okay, I appreciate that. Other people will think that I've done something wrong. I'm sure Brenda is in some room right now. You know.
I'm actually going to try to get a hold of Brenda. If she's not sleeping, I'm going to try to get a hold of MAA. When should I get back to you? This is not urgent particularly or something. This is me.
I'm going to breakfast with this girl. I don't think she has that much time. And then I got to go pick up the dog. He's at the groomers. And then I'm home all afternoon after that. As far as I know, I start dinner around 5. And then tomorrow and Thursday, I work all day.
Oh, what are you doing?
I'm in Brookside working for a store that a friend owns. She just merged. She had 3 stores and she merged 2 together and needed help. And so I'm in like a big store on that main Brookside strip. It's really fun.
Is it a retail store?
Yeah, I've never done this before. I've never worked retail, but I'm enjoying it. And it's just some extra money, but I'm honestly spending everything I make in the store. So it's not fucking doing anything for me. But,
I bet Jeff thinks that's funny.
He thought it was funny probably, but now he's like, this is not funny anymore. Like I come home every time with like a bag full of shit that I bought. So, but I'm enjoying it just for the social. I needed to get out of the house. I was starting to feel really like stirred up and I need to get out of here. So that part's really nice.
Okay. Well, just text me when you feel like talking before dinner, you know.
If you find something out today, will you text me and then we'll make time to talk?
Yeah, totally.
I wonder what they'll say. You're being awfully nice about it. I feel like the flag MA is going to be like, get this person fucking declared.
No, it's not going to happen, Reese. I love you.
Okay, love you too.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay, so she must have called back that day because January 9th, I have the same day. I have another recording, so I'm going to play that. Thank you, babe. What are the odds that any of your content gets back to Brenda? Oh, I don't. Seamus, how the hell did you get in here? That's the biggest troublemaker of them all. He's tiny. He's scrawny, but he's strong. That was a movie quote, and only my babe will know it. It won't. She would go to the cans. Anybody that was close to me in Scientology, I guarantee you, is constantly put on the cans and interrogated, probably to this day, because they want to make sure, positive sure, they're not watching my content. They don't want anything known. They don't want anything known. They don't want any connection to me. Do you think if everyone spent one whole day away from Scientology, you think they would still want to go back? Yes, 100%, Pam. I said this yesterday. I would have never left. If you guys all were to close your eyes, thank you, Steph. If you guys all were to close your eyes right now and imagine being in a religion, a group, whatever you want to call it, and you were in it your entire life and you're your age you are now, and you were told in order to leave this group, you will leave everyone you know. Your entire family, you'll lose your kids, you'll lose your parents, you'll lose your husband, your wife, you'll lose every connection to human friends, everything that you know. No day spent away from Scientology, no good stories. That's why I try to tell you guys all the time, we're not going to save the people in it. They're not going anywhere. You can open the gate, like Clarice Starling says about the lambs and Sounds of the Lambs, when he says, what happened when you tried to free them? And she said, they just stood there scared. They wouldn't leave. It's the same thing. Scientologists are not going anywhere, not anywhere. You will lose everyone. I would have never left. Nobody believes that, but I had to be doxxed like I was. I'm glad and thankful for Aaron Smith-Levin that he did that. He saved more than me, more important than me, he saved my son. My biggest fear was that my child was going to become a hardcore Scientologist and I was going to lose him to the Sea Org when he turned 16. So I will always be grateful for Aaron for that, because I would have never left. I would have never left. I'm going to catch up on these real quick. I answered that. Thank you, Arkansas Flamingo. That's very kind. 'Cause 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 ' DNV, thank you for saying that, and your super chat, really, really nice. DJ, I'm so sorry for the shit you have gone through. It makes me grateful for a good support system. I hope you have the support you need now. That's really nice. And thank you and welcome. I don't recognize your name, but thank you. Reese, I am slowly learning about Scientology, but were your marriages arranged within the group? No, my first marriage was a 10-year marriage. I was married to a Scientologist that was born in. That's my son's father. My other marriages, they were not Scientologists. Jer, at this point, were you done with Kathy, or did you genuinely think she cared about you? I was done. Kathy and I were very close until she moved to Clearwater like 5 years prior to this phone call. And then we talked maybe 3 times a year. I knew she was full of shit. And again, I was an ethics officer. I knew what she was doing. I said this yesterday. She was performing what's called an interrog. It's an interrogation. It's short for interrogation. Do you know how many interrogs I had done on people? She was trying to con a con artist in a way. Like, you can't. I knew what she was doing. I knew the steps she was taking. You can't do that from one seasoned Scientologist to another. So no, I knew she was full of it. How early in this conversation did you tune her out? Well, you can tell I was pretty fixated on it. I didn't tune her out. I was trying to fight back as much as I could, but I was also very scared. Joel, I love you. And so does Tommy. Thank you for your super chat. All right. So I'm going to play the next one. And I'm assuming that she must have called me back, but I'm going to listen to it like you guys are. So here we go.
Okay, who's at, I don't think you've been here. It's 2 different buildings. There's a flag building, and then there's an advanced floor where you do your OT stuff.
Uh-huh.
And there's probably, I don't know how many MAAs. I've probably seen 50. There could be 150. Okay? I just don't have any yet. Anyway, my MAA doesn't know anything about it, but is able to look at a database if someone's been declared or you're not, like a disconnect should have occurred due to a declare. Their name is in there. Your name is not on there.
Well, no, of course it's not yet. It will, but yeah.
Yeah, but that also means that, Brenda, Doug, Fiona, Sam, anybody is free to talk to you. Like, it's not like there's some known situation about Marisa that means nobody should be talking to you.
Right. This is too, yeah, I get it. Not yet. It's a week old.
Well, you said, for all you know, Brenda's locked in a room and can't talk to you since 6 weeks ago. I'm letting you know, no, that's definitely not the case.
Because it's in progress?
No, there's nothing. There's nothing there. Now, does that mean that Brenda wrote a report or didn't write a report that somewhere, you wanted to know, has someone seen that video?
So obviously this conversation, well, thank you, Jaden, for being here from Mary's channel. I appreciate that. This conversation, I just want to preface now that I'm listening to it. She called me back later that day after checking in with her MAA, her Master at Arms. So she's reporting data back to me now saying the MAA checked and you haven't been declared. And I say, of course I haven't been declared. It's been a week. It's coming. So I just want you to know that she's saying I checked in and this is the same day she called me back. I'm going to back that up 30 seconds.
Means nobody should be talking to you.
Right. This is too, yeah, I get it. Not yet. It's a week old.
Well, you said, for all you know, Brenda's locked in a room and can't talk to you since 6 weeks ago. I'm letting you know, no, that's definitely not the case.
Because it's in progress?
No, there's nothing. There's nothing there. Now, does that mean that Brenda wrote a report or didn't write a report that somewhere, you wanted to know, has someone seen that video? None of that data is available to me right now. But my MAA said she would look into it the next couple days and get back to me. She did have about 7 people waiting to see her on their routing forms. So I doubt she's going to be go try to figure it all out today. And I just didn't want to leave you going, let's help Kathy here.
Okay. Well, that's okay. I just have a feeling my talking to Aaron Smith-Levin isn't going to be no big deal. Something's going to come of it. I'm sure. I'm just waiting to hear.
Well, and I wrote that down, and I'm going to bring it over, drop it off, say what you told to me regarding the situation, how you feel, see what I could do. But it would be nice if I came up with, hey, here's what Reese is really looking for out of this, or, here are some ideas of what could improve things.
Okay.
which I probably should spend some time talking to you about in order that you and I could come up with something, but I think I'm just thinking it over. Do you want to talk some more?
I mean, sure, it's okay. I don't have a lot to think about it. I don't have anything to think over. I've been thinking this over for a long time.
Yeah, like decades.
Yeah, I don't have anything else. Like I don't have a plan. I don't need to. I don't know. I just assume at some point. I mean, I've been thinking a declare is coming for months now. I told Brenda, I was like, maybe we should just disconnect now because it's coming. I told her that.
But I don't think that's coming. Just because, like right now, that's coming your way. I don't get that at all. I think I would already be on the line. Now, based on a video from a week ago with Aaron Sullivan, I mean, I put that communication out. So I'll see what I get in regards to that. But it'll be within my right to do something to help improve the situation long before anybody will issue a declare. I have absolutely the right by our own policies. I don't need anyone to tell me this or confirm this. That if there is something I can do that prevents an attack, bad feelings from you feeling like you have to fight against Scientology, it's one thing for you to not do Scientology, it's another thing for you to feel like you hate it. So if there's anything I can do to help, and I don't mean shut you up, I mean truly help, then I want to do it.
Okay. I appreciate that. I just don't think there's anything you can do. There's nothing that I think we can do. I don't need to formulate a plan.
Shut you up.
I don't think there's anything to. I don't know what the solution is. Is there a solution here?
I mean, I believe amends are possible, and the difference between criminals and not criminals is that they feel remorse, right? That a person feels remorse and that they would do something to make things better.
But wouldn't they have already done it?
And there's an ambulance going by me, and I legally have to pull it over and get out of his way, and I can't hold it. Okay, we're good.
But that's okay. Wouldn't they have already done it? This stuff happened decades ago. What are we trying to fix?
One thing, for example, is that sometimes people do it in their own way. For example, one time I did something to a public person I do not feel good about. I don't want to say what it is. Okay?
That's okay.
I couldn't directly repair something with that public person.
Sorry, I was feeding Bo.
Uh-huh.
There wasn't anything for me to do about it in the world today, right?
Sorry.
Okay.
So I had to do things in the general direction that I think make it better. And I maintained communication there, make sure that person was doing okay, blah, blah, blah. So if I was a bad soup and I, tried to correct, what I did is I'm just picking something, right? If I let a student be sleepy on course and I tried to correct him once and he bit my head off, and I tried to find his misunderstandings another time and he bit my head off again. And this goes on and on, right? For a while. So I know he's not really a product of his course by our study tech.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
All I can really do there, I didn't go to him and go, hey, I was a bad soup. I didn't do that. But I did my best to reach out to that person.
Soup, I just want to clear that up, stands for supervisor. I was a bad soup supervisor, meaning the person who's in charge of the course room, who is like the teacher, essentially. Why is it not possible for Scientologists to just walk out the door, Peter? It's just not. It's like I said, it's like the lambs. You open their pen and they won't run. They're too afraid. They hold too much over your head. You are locked in. And as you become more of a Scientologist, your dentist, your plumber, your job, your career, everything is run by Scientology. So you really have nowhere to go. And they slowly but surely box you in and make the space smaller and tighter as you, in my case, I was born into it. But I know all my family that's still in, they can't leave. They can't. There's too much at stake. There's too much to lose. Were they upset when I married a non-Scientologist? They didn't love it. No, but they expect you to, thank you, Kay Thompson. They expect you to convert. They wanted me to convert, Jeff. They absolutely made that clear and expected that. Yeah. You feel public Scientologists are more dangerous. Interesting. I don't stretch. I don't know that I feel one way or the other about that. What is more precious than your family, Claire? Exactly. Scientology is supremely evil for this. Yeah, it's all by design, right? And I lost everything, right? I wouldn't have left. I promise you, I wouldn't have left. I would have stayed miserable. It's all about Kathy. Do not go public, Reese. Yeah, she does mean shut up. So what was that? I wish we would have counted. I think she said 5 or 6 times throughout these audios, I'm not trying to shut you up. We're not trying to shut you up here. Like she has said that so many times. Reese question, are there ever any arranged marriages? Not that I'm aware of. No, but the circle is small. Like a lot of staff members and Sea Org members, thank you, Shards of Words, marry and divorce, marry and divorce. Like there's the org that I was raised in and worked in. So many different people had married each other and divorced each other and just kind of like did a round robin type thing. Yeah, there's a lot of that.
This course by our study tech.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
All I can really do there, I mean, I didn't go to him and go, hey, I was a bad soup. I didn't do that. But I did my best to reach out to that person when I realized how bad it is what I did and what that effect would be, which took me a long time to realize. Because up until then, I was just afraid of this guy biting my head off.
Sure.
And, eventually I came to see that as pretty serious on my own. Just like, I never made sure he was winning or that he got it. And now he's not really moving, whatever. So then I just took responsibility for that, reached out to the person, got him back in, made sure that they were winning. And I went the extra mile to do that when it was no longer my job. I wasn't up at work anymore. I wasn't the person's FSM.
Right. But that's something that's you, right? Like we both know Gene Wally's never going to do that. It's been 38 years. I've been alive. He's not going to do that. I don't want him to do that. But that would never happen.
That's the part I want you to consider. When I say think about, Reese, if you think that Gene should go back and take responsibility for his ridiculous implementation of disconnecting from his own child, if that's what he did, and that's how you feel about it, I'm saying maybe it could be acknowledged / something done. But what you don't want to do is when somebody commits an over, like let's say Huxley knocks over your great grandma from Italy's favorite vase that her fiance gave her in like 1898, and it's filled with gold by hand. There's no repairing that. What you don't want to do to somebody is say, hey, there's no way in, there's no way this can be made right. Even though there really is no way he can make that right. There's nothing he can do about that vase.
But what are we trying to make right? I don't need anything made right. I've just made it clear where I stand. I made it clear with that chaplain and Brenda. I'm not trying to fix anything. I don't need to fix anything.
Well, see, and if you were like, hey, I don't need to fix anything. You guys do you. I'm going to go over here and do me. You be you. I'll be me. And we can all still communicate to each other and be friends. And I'm not going to attack you or do things to attack you. I don't want you to do things to attack me. That'd be great. But that isn't what's happening.
Well, I'm not attacking you, though.
Not me. No, we're not really talking about me. I hope. I think you would tell me, right?
No, I don't have anything
right?
No.
Okay.
And Brenda asked me that question. Brenda said, do you have an upset with me? And I said, of course I do. I have all kinds of upsets with you. And she was like, what are they? And I laid them out for her. I'm not hiding anything here. I hate Scientology. I'm going to continue to hate Scientology. And I think it's wrong. I think there's a lot of things that are swept under the rug. I think that the things I'm saying are true. They happened to me. So what's wrong with talking about it?
I'm upset with you for talking about it.
Well, you shouldn't be. I'm not upset with me for talking about it. Like, because I didn't talk about it to a Scientologist, I did. I told Brenda and I told the chaplain. I told a couple other Sea Org members that called, but I can't remember their names. But what's wrong with me talking about it?
I'm not trying to shut you up, Maurice. I'm trying to do something about the thing you're talking about because I'm under the impression that when someone is upset about something, they would like to have it addressed.
Correct. And you're right. But I've been complaining and yapping and nattering or whatever you want to call it for 20 years now about it. And people go, well, you should report that. Or, oh, yeah, I hear it. So why now? I mean, I've been saying the same things over and over. No one cared until I guess now that I said something to Aaron Smith-Levin. You know, it's like,
I understand why it feels that way to you, but I don't feel like that's not really true for me. Like over the years as I talked to you, I didn't feel like you hated Scientology, not one time. Did you not want to do Scientology? Did you associate Scientology with Gene, who you do hate? Yeah, I do that.
yeah.
I feel a little bit stupid for not really noticing that you hated Scientology. Like I didn't get that. No, I don't feel that. You expressed this to me and I should have done something about that. That's not how I ever felt right now. So honestly, I'm watching the fucking video. Like, wow.
What did the clip even say that you screenshot? I don't even remember. Like, what did I didn't get to see
Just
it.
the exact schedule, the training schedule.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Okay.
And I didn't watch much. As soon as I realized, oh, I was out, you know? That's all I know.
Why?
But,
Yeah, it's just weird because Aaron called me and he was like, nobody saw it because if they saw it, they would have had to record the live, back and pause it, and then get your information. He was like, there's no way that anybody's gonna be able to just like see that. It's like less than a half a second.
I mean, it takes me a second to screenshot what's he doing. I'm a suspicious sort. You would have too.
Well, yeah, I told him
I'm
that.
not even gonna argue about that.
Yeah, I told him that. I was like, Scientologists are total sleuths, man. Like, of course they saw it.
I mean, I'm that way anyway. I'll be like watching a movie and I'll be like, wait a minute, wasn't that guy dating so and so? And
Yeah.
I'll be.
Yeah, I'm the same way. And he was like, no one's going to see it because you'd have to record the live because I've since edited the live. And he was like, you'd also have to know I was going live. Someone would have had to be sitting there and like know it. And I was like, yeah. You think Scientologists aren't doing that? You're putting out all this news they don't want you to talk about. Of course they're going to be all over that.
I mean, actually, he just went on, whatever. I don't know what he had on it that it wouldn't even get into my YouTube feed. Maybe he said Scientology on the top or something. I didn't go back and look and go, how did I end up with this? And if it hadn't been his face, absolutely wouldn't have had any interest. It was just a complete fluke. And the fact that I then knew, that is so fluky.
Oh, yeah.
Oh
I mean,
my
I'm not
God.
surprised, though. Like, I told him. I was like, people will know. And that's not a problem for me
You're not
either.
hiding it. You're not caring about that. That isn't even the point of any of this. The point of this is me saying, hey, Marisa, you being mad about something and not liking it and having expressed it to me is one thing. You going to somebody whose whole goal is to, fight the things I care about, obliterate, that's at that point, you're being friends with somebody who's being mean to me, and I don't like that. And I would like to do something about it, but I for sure never meant to sweep anything under the rug with regard to you. And that you feel like you were not taken care of by me or anybody around me is not okay with me, and I would like to do something about it. And that isn't declare Marisa. Disconnect from Marisa. That is not what I want.
Right, no, I get it. But the part where you said you're directly in contact with something that's like against me, I feel like that is also against me, though. Scientology has done nothing, like I said, it's been harmful to me, if anything. So I'm not supportive of it.
Can I do something regarding any of those harms? And if there's anything that I can do, and I understand it's not up to you to figure out how do people repair something. Like to some degree, the guy has to figure it out, right? The guy doing something wrong. You've said what you have to say.
Yeah.
So it may be that I'll just have to sit down and talk to you, list out the things that are upset that you feel have to do with Scientology not being what it should be in regards to those things, like correcting something with your dad or whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
Whatever it is. I'm not saying or whatever, like I'm bored. I'm like, whatever. There's more than one thing. We list them out and we sit down and I take it to proper terminals, Gene's MAA, for example. I'm just picking on that one. I'm not saying there's nothing with Brenda, there's nothing somewhere else. I'm just picking one.
Mm-hmm.
And then we, one by one, try to do something about those things. But if that isn't in the direction of where you want to go, then I won't go do that. That's all I'm really saying.
That would help you, not me. I don't want to sit down with any terminals. I don't want to figure something out. No, I don't think that will help me. I'm not interested.
How would that help me besides to help you? I'm just curious how you mean that.
Because I don't think you want to disconnect from me. And it's probably that.
Disconnect from me?
I told you earlier, I'm willing to be declared and be disconnected from everyone. Yes.
willing to stand up for what you believe is right in some way is a different thing, Reese, than you making the call on that saying, hey, Huxley, you broke my grandma's face. I want nothing more to do with you. I hate you, and it cannot be repaired. I'm just picking that example, so hopefully you will see how it feels to me. Hey, Kathy, you're a part of something that's, created this, and this effect. Nothing can be done to make it better.
Well, not in the organization. What am I going to do to fix it in Scientology? I want nothing to do with Scientology.
I see.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I'm not going to do conditions. I'm not going to go back and do the conditions by dynamics or a session.
I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about if I go into my MAA and say, hey, you Wally created this situation. He did this, and this, and this. Please pull his files. Please help me get to the bottom of it, because it has come to this point, which I didn't realize was to this point.
I see.
I'm not talking about you coming to an MAA or something right now. That's not at all what I'm saying.
Okay. I'm
not trying to make you into a Scientologist at all.
I don't really feel like you're doing that. I'm just saying what can be done about it from my point of view. I know where I stand. If you want to do that, I think that should have been done a long time ago.
Yeah.
The flag people came. What do you call that? The Flag World Tour came. I had a session. We wrote up a report together with a guy named Adam. It was like a 6-page report. He was like, because I had a session all about my dad and this upset. And he was like, we need to get a report to the Flag MAA.
When was this, Reese?
Years ago. And Brenda was on it too. And we sent this report. And he was like, call me if you don't hear anything. I never heard anything. Brenda had me call Flag. And I was like, I'm looking for Adam so-and-so. And they were like, oh, he's in Switzerland. And I was like, okay. So this is what I mean. Nothing's, why now? I have complained from the rooftops. Nothing's ever been done. And I don't expect anything to be done.
They didn't want anything done. I thought you were disconnected from Gene. It was a done thing for you. Not that Gene did that to you, but that you did that to him. And I didn't have any problem with that. I'm not criticizing. But I thought it was your choice to step away from your father. You see what I mean? I didn't.
Yeah, it's the spotlight he's
the way
in.
you're telling me today.
Yeah, it's oh my God, we love your dad. It's the fact that he just kind of got away with disconnecting from his children, and everyone was like, oh, that's okay. That's no big deal. Jeff Kittinger did that with his kids. Alex doesn't talk to Abby. It's just a common thing. If you don't practice Scientology, you're fucking jettisoned. You're a degraded being. That's how I feel.
Okay, I understand.
So
but I don't think, not that your feelings are wrong, but I don't think that situation is right. And I would like to do something about it. I don't want it to just feel swept under the rug or be unhandled.
You don't?
So I want to sit down with you and just get what the different situations are and see what I can do to try to improve those things.
I appreciate that. I wish that would have been done years ago when how many chaplains have I talked to? I talked to Claire before she was moved. She was the Kansas City chaplain. Remember? Some Sea Org lady?
Yeah. Yeah, I know who she is. I mean, I've met her.
I mean, none of this, nobody's ever... I've had a lot of sessions on this and a lot of handlings, and Dan's written up doing OWs and conditions by dynamics and PTS handlings, and none of that's, I'm over it. I am done with that part.
Okay. Was I out of Scientology? No, I was not. A lot of people have said that, Paula. I'm hearing Charlie Brown's teacher. What does not get swept under the rug? I think we've got just a short time left of these calls, and I have been starring all of your questions. So I think I'll finish up this last, I think I'll, what is it with this vase? You guys, we can't seem, the vase is highlighted everywhere. Yeah. What is it? What is going on with the vase? Noah, you really make me laugh. You are hilarious. Yesterday, Noah, your comment about my ex-husband, I wish Tommy had been in here for it. Tommy, Noah, can you remember what you said? Jeff was being so loud on this call yesterday, and maybe he will be on this next one. I don't know. hold on, sorry. He was so loud that Noah said a hilarious comment. It was gold. It was really, really funny. I don't know what it is about this damn vase though. It's too much. Yeah, something about a it was so funny. I said he's so loud he could blow the ocean out of a conch shell. He was really loud yesterday. It was so loud. He was like in a whole other room with the door closed having a meeting, and he was like, all right, everybody have a good day. It was so loud. It was so funny. So good. Noah's hilarious. Okay, we've got a short little bit left on this. So here we go.
I'm asking you to do anything about that on that end of things.
Okay.
I'm asking you to leave a door open for Scientology to correct itself right now in present time, regardless of what has been done or not done in the past.
Okay.
And that during that time that I attempt that, you reserve any attacks along the lines of what Aaron Smith Levin does. That's all I'm asking. I'm not asking that you not express yourself, that you don't speak your truth, that you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Different thing.
Yeah.
And you can speak it to me.
Oh, just
And
you.
I feel that I have.
Yeah, and I'm saying, I'm receiving the communication. I'm not rejecting it. I'm not finding you bad for saying it to me. Like, it's not that you don't need me to tell you it's okay to communicate, but it might be nice to know it's okay with me to tell me this.
Yeah. It is okay though. I know it's okay. Like I say, I've not held back in
That's
any
why I'm
way.
acknowledging, like, you don't need me to say it's okay, but I want you to understand how I feel too.
Okay.
Too much.
Yeah. I think you're going to be wrong. I think once it's trickled down the line that I'm off lines, I haven't been active as a Scientologist a long time. I've been complaining about Scientology openly with Brenda and this chaplain. And I talked to Aaron Smith Levin. They're going to put the hammer down on it and just say, declare her. I mean, I could be wrong, but I just feel like that's probably coming. And I've been prepared for it for a while now.
Well, maybe unprepare yourself and think about what could Kathy help you, not because Kathy's a god or special, but because she actually does care and thinks, yeah, let's do something about something that should have been done. You know what I mean? That's it. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
Hold
I
on.
appreciate that.
I got to hear that again. I'm sorry. What was
I don't
that?
know what can be done. You'll have to think on that. Like you said, I don't really have any solutions.
I mean, I'll probably have to listen and really detail. It's probably, to a great degree, me writing reports on the things that you tell me so that I can try to get stuff done. Like, even just one thing earlier is like, who's this Italian guy?
Wait.
I don't
have any.
He does care and thinks, yeah, let's do something about something that should have been done. You know what I mean? That's it. That's all I'm saying.
Let's do something about something that should have been done. What did she just say?
Not because Kathy's a god or special, but because she actually does care and thinks, yeah, let's do something about something that should have been done. You know what I mean? That's it. That's all I'm saying.
Okay. I appreciate that.
Got it.
I don't know what can be done. You'll have to think on that. Like you said, I don't really have any solutions.
I mean, I'll probably have to listen and really detail. It's probably, to a great degree, me writing reports on the things that you tell me so that I can try to get stuff done. Like, even just one thing earlier is like, who's this Italian guy? I don't know who talked to you, but I couldn't find an Italian guy who'd been on tour or anything in Kansas City. So I'm like, are you sure he was in Kansas City?
He's not on tour. I think he's part of the group there now, the mission. Brenda knows him. You can ask Brenda. I can't think of his name.
I can't easily talk to Brenda, so if you think of his name, let me know. I'll try to talk to Brenda or send her a text or something, I guess. There's just one thing you told me today that made me go, who the hell confront somebody with a report over the, like, I want to correct that. You see what I mean?
Yeah, I wondered about that. Is that even legit? To be like, I'm sitting here looking at this. He said, I'm looking at your file, and I see this report that your dad called you.
No, it's not legit at all. That's why I was like, there's quite a few things that you told me today that I would like to do something about.
Okay.
And I'm like, okay, I need to sit down with Marisa. But I'm just saying, I want to do that with you, between you and me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Brenda knows who he is because I told her the whole situation and how upset I was. And she was like, I love that guy. I was like, I don't.
Oh,
So,
gosh. Oh, no.
yeah.
Okay, well, right now I need to go and get Lily. Lily has cheer from 5 to 7, and I have to bring her a salad.
That's okay. I'll just,
And so right now I'm going to deliver my little write-up. It's not a KR, it's just a little write-up to my MAA. Telling her what you told me.
It's just a little write-up.
With my screenshot. And then, you know, my column that I had the screenshot. And then just wait for a couple days to
Thank
hear
you.
anything on that stuff. In the meantime, you're working the next 2 days anyways. But if you want, if you have time to talk about it, let me know. And we'll just start detailing this stuff. And I'll see, you know, I'll pick the ones I feel like I could do something about and start doing stuff.
okay. I appreciate this, Kathy. I don't know the angle. Like, why? So that I don't get declared?
Grace, I had no idea this is how you felt about it. And it's not that I don't understand that there were upsets and things wrong, but I did not understand it wasn't more kind of on your own determinism of like, I don't want anything to do with Gene, as an example.
Okay.
And actually as the biggest example.
Okay.
I had no idea. I've never heard from you before Gene deserted me. And that's what I heard today.
Okay. And you didn't know that story?
No, I did not know that story.
Okay.
Promise you.
Okay. Well, there's probably just a lot I haven't shared with you, but I promise.
Which actually says a lot because you and I share a lot. So
Yeah,
when
we
you
don't
say
talk
I'm not
that
going to be quiet
often.
anymore, I get that. I'm sorry?
We don't talk. I talk to you like twice a year. I mean, I don't. I shared it with Brenda because Brenda's constantly wanting to call me. She calls me pretty often. And so.
And you and I have mostly talked about life outside of Scientology.
Yeah, and since you moved to Clearwater, we talk a lot less.
Yeah. And I mean, I definitely knew there was a great deal of upset regarding King Wally. Like, I know you don't like him, you know?
We're
I
that
knew that, but
close.
I kind of likened it more to my own different family situations, which have been, you know, the way I manage my relationships a little bit more by my choice. I don't have any disconnections completely that way. And my dad has passed away, but, you know, I just didn't see it the way you're giving it to me today. That's all. And I feel bad about that.
Okay, well, I don't want you to feel bad about it. It's not your responsibility by far. It's not. And Brenda knew.
I mean, if you saw a puppy in the road wounded, it's not your puppy. Would you do something about it?
Of course I would.
I'm the metaphor girl.
I mean, but you know I would.
Really?
Because I care about animals way more than people.
And that's my point. I care about you. So I don't want to make it sound like a burden kind of responsibility.
Well, I
It
don't.
doesn't feel that way to me.
Okay.
I feel like, oh shit, my friend is hurt enough to have taken this action. What? You know?
Yeah.
That's it. I won't keep you because I bring the salad to
Yeah.
my kid.
It's okay. Okay. Well, we'll talk again then.
Okay, but probably not in the next couple days, right? Because you're working.
Yes. I mean, you could text me and I can tell you what hours I'm working, but I don't work on Wednesday. I work Tuesday and Thursday.
Okay, well, if I get anything that makes me feel like, oh, we should talk right away or something, I'll do that. But otherwise, I won't bother you. If you feel free, you want to talk, let me know. I am here for you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay.
I do love you.
Love you too. Bye.
That was difficult. And was the puppy inside the vase? Someone said animal, she's comparing to animals. You should go back and listen to yesterday. Yesterday, she compared this whole situation of me talking to Aaron. She said, this is like you going and working for the enemy, like you're protesting, saying at an animal shelter, like, just put them down. What does it matter? And she was like, but I support the animals. That's what this is like for you attacking Scientology, talking to Aaron. So she played that obviously with me because she knows that I really, really love animals. Anybody that knows me, for instance, when I went to Publix today, they were like, would you like to donate to some hospital? And I was like, is it an animal hospital? Is it an animal shelter? Then no, I wouldn't. That's not true. I gave money. Where was I? Sprouts. I gave money for the fires in LA the other day, but I don't do that. I give money for animals. off track, guys. I get it. It would have to be your bowl. But she gave the weirdest analogies. And that was the last we ever heard from her, Amanda. Yeah. So I want to go over some of your questions. I've been starring them, but I also don't want you guys to leave it because I kind of want your feedback on all of this. This was interesting. I'm going to speak Scientology for a minute. It was interesting to listen to this in a new unit of time. That's what we would say as a Scientologist. This was interesting in a new unit of time. I feel very differently about this than I did the last time I heard it, a year and a half ago or whenever that was that Aaron played it. I was pretty solid, pretty lifeless, pretty emotionless. And now I feel very differently about all of this. Like now that I've made and built real friendships in life, this is insane that was my definition of a friendship my entire 38-year existence. Those were my friends. She was my closest. Her and Brenda right there were my closest friends. And if that tells you anything, I talked to her twice a year. That's how much I valued our friendships. So that's very different to where I am now. Like now I have real friendships. I talk to people. I have my relationship with Tommy. Like it's so different being outside now. Absolutely shards of words. But if that makes sense to you guys, what I'm trying to say is that's a Scientology friendship. And you heard her say it many times. Like, I am your friend. I am your friend. It's a beautiful relationship, shards of words. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Noah Naomi Hales. Thank you. And Noah, by the way, is hilarious. She does talk in circles. She absolutely talks in circles. And the vase. Yeah. Just a Northern girl, not just a Northern girl, Steph. Absolutely. Yeah, just a Northern girl. I agree with you on that, by the way. Yes, Woofy. What would have happened if you had decided to stay? Would they have tried to sort things out, or would you be in major trouble? I would have been in major trouble. I would have had to do conditions. It would have been a lot. It would have been the worst trouble I would have ever been in my Scientology upbringing. But I could have probably reversed it and gotten back in. I probably could have. I would have had to go to Flag and fix that situation. That would have been a serious one. That was some hot water. Do you see now that these people weren't your friends or family? I hope you know you do have true friends that love you, root for you, and are proud of you. Love you, Reese. Alicia, absolutely I do. And thank you for saying that, babe, because it's true. Yes, I would have had a lot of sec checking, Rochelle. Absolutely. Absolutely. By the way, hey, Jennifer Matthews, I have oodles more of these calls. And I would like let me ask you something, actually. Let me take a little poll here. I want you to put a 1 in the chat if you want to hear more of these more regularly, meaning, here, let me just put it this way. Put a 1 in the chat if you want me to like boom, 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 lay these out. Put a 2 in the chat if you'd rather have like once a week segment where we do this, like one day a week where we just do this. Or do you want to just like balls to the wall? Let's keep going. I want to hear more. I want to hear more because I've got a bunch with my mother-in-law. I've got some dark stuff of like talking about my dark thoughts of Scientology. I've got stuff with Sea Org members. I've got a lot that I recorded and it won't last forever. But what I guess I'm asking you is, do you guys want to hear it more frequently, or should we just do our regular content? I got Jester stuff too with Tommy, but or should we do Itchy Thetan balls? You don't have to celebrate it, Itchy Thetans. Movie line. Okay, pretty much everyone's. Wow, I've got a couple of 2s. Whatever works for you, says Soph. I would jump off my balcony, but I'm only 1 story up. This is crazy. Whatever you feel comfortable with. Well, here's the other thing. Put a 3 in the chat if you think that I should play these more regularly, as far as like, I think maybe once a year we revisit this. 1, because it's very therapeutic for me. It makes me realize where I came from to where I am now. At least that's what it's doing for me now. But I think it's also, we always get new people, right? So even though you're saying, I've already heard this, Reese, we may have 100, 200, 300 new people, right, that haven't heard it. And the whole point is to continue to expose, right? So yeah, it would help new listeners to understand better. I think we should play these a little bit more regularly. I think it was a missed opportunity that I haven't done it. What is a jester? A jester is something we're going to get into. I was married to a couple of those. They are Masons within the Masonic organization. But a jester is specifically, it's a Royal Order of Jesters, is an organization that's a secret sex cult group that my husbands were a part of. And it's some real sleazebag stuff. And I have a bunch of secret recordings of that as well. Also, just a ton of screenshots of lots of really gross material. I'm new, says Woofy, and we love you, Woofy, by the way, and it does help get a better understanding. And guys, the best thing to do, yeah, Itchy Thetans, I agree. I think the best thing to do is to continue, even though it's repetitive. Also, it's almost like a movie that you love. Like, I'll watch a movie again and again. Like, for instance, I love Royal Tenenbaums. I've seen it 15, 20 times. Yeah, Franklin. Every time I watch it, I laugh. But another thing is, almost every time I watch it, I'm like, I never noticed that before. Do you ever, like, you pick up something new, even though you've seen it 100 times? It's weird how that happens. But I also think it's just good repetition on this situation is good. And maybe the right set of ears will hear this that can contact a news station or something, because I really believe these recordings are worthwhile. I do. I think they're worthwhile. I'm here for whatever you're throwing down. I can't contribute much, but commentary, I try. Noah, we just love you. And I love you being a supporter and watching. Thank you, Penny Rogers. See, like, Penny's new. Noah's new. We've got a lot of new people, and a lot of them are from Sean Atwood. A lot of them are from the Lifeboat. And a lot of them are just new, just stumbled on this channel, like Pepper Jelly. Thank you, Tammy. So I'm going to go through some of these questions, and I'm hoping that you'll also give me some feedback here. Okay, hold on. Okay, here we go. That's where I was. Copper Top, what makes her so adamant that you won't be declared? She's just following what she was told. She wasn't adamant. I mean, she was pretending to be. But if you notice, she was terrified, Copper Top. She was terrified. She doesn't want to be connected to me if I'm going to be declared. And she was trying to fix this. I think she probably thought I was going to get declared. I'm learning, don't make fun of me. Is there a compound where Scientologists live, work, etc.? Woofy, no one's making fun of you. Yes, it depends. There's 3 different levels of Scientology. Not 3 different levels, well, kind of. So there's staff, Sea Org, public. You're one of the 3. So you're on staff in some. Kathleen McKeithen is new from the Lifeboat. Thank you, Kathleen, for being here. Welcome to the new people. You are in good company here, and it's a really safe space. So, and it's not always intense and awful. Sometimes you lose bladder control. Sometimes you have a hamster bladder and it just comes out because we laugh. So staff is where you're on staff at a Church of Scientology located in your city, and they're all over the place, all over the world, right? That's where you work. I don't know where Pepper Jelly is, but I think I need to message her. I think she sent me a message. That's where you work a regular job there, but you go home. You get to go home. Not very often. They keep you there a lot. I was on staff. Dangerous Journeyman, good to see you. I love you. I'm starring your questions. I got you, Abdazzle. Sea Org is the round the clock. You have no debt. You have no personal belongings. Sea Org is where you sign a 1 billion-year contract. I'm not kidding. That's a real thing. I signed one. And you go in and you give up your life and everything, your husband, your kids, everything. And you go dedicate your life to the Church of Scientology. You never get a day off. You get like 3 hours off a week to clean your room and do your laundry. And they will come and do white glove checks to make sure your room, your laundry, all that's done. You are a slave around the clock. Act like a jester and inappropriately touch that like button. Good one. Nice. Barbara Waite, do you think she believed she was coming from a place of good intentions, or was she fully aware of full of crap it was? She was fully aware. That had been drilled and coached, and she was well aware. She was a sleazeball when she did that phone call. No question. She was not a friend of mine. Cece, the longer you wait to contact the Attorney General's office, the longer. I don't know what that means. That's why I started, Cece. I went at length. I've spoken to 2 different law firms. Aaron Smith Levin put me in touch with a law firm that dealt with Scientology cases. And they spent like 6 months going through every shred of evidence that I had of the statutory rape in particular. And they came back and said, you are outside of the statute of limitations. So I don't know what you mean by that if you're still in here. Itchy Thetans, why does Kathy saying, I'm not going to attack you sound like a threat? Because she was threatening me. She was being passive aggressive. Hey, A. Kenneth, and thank you for becoming a member. Kathy Ann says, would they have given her bullet point questions to ask or a literal script for certain responses? No, not necessarily, Kathy Ann. She was giving, they gave her loosely, basically, Scientology will tell you, and I said this yesterday, get the data. That's how we talk. We use the word data a lot. It's weird. Like if I said to you, hey, what's the status on your mom's health? And there's not been an update, you would say to me, no data, no data. If I said, is there any new data on that? They just use it all the time. It's so weird, but they use it all the time. So she would have just they would have said to her, Kathy, get all the data that you can, get every piece of evidence, get all the data, get the data. So, Steph, I'm going to star that, or I'll just read it now. I accidentally clicked it. I remember when you first came on Aaron's show, then started your channel. In all seriousness, I cannot believe the person you are today and the growth and just how happy you are. I sometimes can't either, but Steph, I haven't gone back to watch that. I don't, it's like when you live with someone who's slowly losing weight, but then you see them, someone sees them who doesn't live with them and they're like, whoa, you've lost a ton of weight. But the person living with them maybe doesn't see it as much. I don't know. That's a bad example. Maybe I sound like Kathy, don't I? But I don't know that I've noticed it as much as maybe you guys have. I know I've changed. Don't get me wrong. I show way more emotion in public than I've ever been comfortable with or been trained to do. So I know things are different. But thank you for saying that. It's absolutely true. Reese is not the same person today as she was when I met her a year ago. The confidence grows at a rate that is astounding. Well, thank you, honey bun. That's so sweet. What happened to the vase? Where is it today? Oh my God, you're hilarious. What about Tom Cruise and John Travolta? They seem normal and they're allowed to be actors. I think they're very far from normal. I personally believe, I've met John Travolta. I do believe that he is homosexual, but you are not allowed to be gay in Scientology. And I think he suppresses that. And I think that this is all allegedly, by the way, because I don't know, but I think that they have so much on him, like all of his PC pre-clear folders, which is everything he's ever done. He's also had the same amount of auditing, right? Like they've shined a light and a magnifying glass on everything he's ever done, sexually, anything, everything. So they've got a lot on him. They've got a lot on the poor man. I love John Travolta. I don't like Tom Cruise. He's a creeper to me. I've never liked him. Even in Scientology, I didn't like him. Okay, so Cece, I'm going to star that. Let me go back. That's a great question, Naomi Hales. Did you ever talk about the jester situation in a session? No, I did not. The reason for that is because the last real big session I had, the big thing that made me, if you guys listened to in that audio, I said in there, she said something like, you haven't been a Scientologist for years. Yeah, I would love to, V. McWilliams, to go back and watch it. Kathy Ann's going to help me do that. We're going to do a watch party on that. Okay. What was I just saying? Because I read a comment and now I went blank and it was really important. What was I saying? Oh, I hadn't participated in Scientology. There was something that tipped me over the edge in Scientology that made me really take a step back and go, this isn't for me. Okay. Of my entire upbringing, I could withstand anything and everything. I could withstand all the bull baiting that you could throw at me. I could withstand all the security checking, the interrogating. I'm happy to give up anything I need to give up. Okay. What happened that broke me of Scientology really was my second husband died, and they immediately, Dan O'Connor called me and said, you need to come in today. I've got an auditor here that's in the Sea Org, and his name was Colin. He was like 17-year-old kid. And he said, he's here waiting for you. I've got a whole program ready to go for your loss of your husband. And we're going to do this auditing on you. And I said, okay, Kathy, I'm going to star that. I said, okay. So I went in and I had my rudes flown, which is rudiments. I had my rudiments flown, which is getting off like present time problems, upsets, things like that. So I spent a good, I don't know, a couple hours in session with this kid, Colin. Okay. And I talked about Fred and I was very upset. Okay. We ended the session. And of course, I didn't get to leave. We had to do, and I've had a million of these, when a dog dies, anything dies, it's called a loss of a person assist. Okay. And there's one command. There's one command for this assist. And you run this assist until the end phenomena. And that is when the person perks up, they're brighter, they have a cognition, which means an epiphany or a realization. So Colin runs this assist on me for like 3 hours and I'm not getting any better. We're walking around parking lots. We're walking around outside and he's got a clipboard and we are in session and he's running the same command on me over and over for hours. And I'm going to run it on you guys and pretend we're in session for a minute. I'll be the auditor. Look around here and find something that does not remind you of Fred. That pillow. Good. Look around here and find something that does not remind you of Fred. That thing on the wall. Excellent. Look around here and find something that does not remind you of Fred. That guitar thing. All right. Look around here and find something that does. So you repeat that over and over and you give a different acknowledgement every time. So I'm going to say that guitar. Got it. I'm going to say that thing on the wall. Okay. That pillow. Excellent. And that's it. And you run that command over and over. And that's what a lot of auditing is, to be honest with you guys. That's what a lot of auditing is, always giving a command and you get a response. And then you either give a new command, like sometimes it's a different command, but that's the same thing on the cans. It's the same thing. It's repetitive over and over. So that's why I've said to you guys, I'm going to give you an example. This is why somebody said at the beginning of this stream, hey, Reese, if this is too much for you, you can take a step away. This is exactly why we don't do this in Scientology. Let's pretend I'm on the cans. Okay. The door is locked. Okay. You don't get to leave. There's no leaving. Okay. But let's just pretend I'm on the cans. Let's be in session for a minute. I'm on the cans. I'm going to give you the command. Recall a time that you had sexual thoughts about your father. I'm not really comfortable with that question. Understood. I'll repeat the auditing command. Recall a time that you had sexual thoughts about your father. I don't think there ever was a time. I've never had sexual thoughts about my father. Okay. I got it. I'll repeat the auditing command. Recall a time that you had sexual thoughts about your father. I'm not going to answer the question. Got it? I'm not fucking answering it. So stop asking me the question. Understood. I'll repeat the auditing command. Recall a time that you had sexual thoughts about your father. That's it. That is Scientology auditing right there. So my point is, a Scientologist would never say, that's crossing a boundary for me, or I'm uncomfortable answering that. We would never say that. You know why? We know that door's locked and we know we're not getting out. You have to respond to the question. Here's the best part, guys. You think, okay, fine, I'll make something up. Good. Okay, so we're on the can still. Let's go back in session. So I'm going to be the auditor. Recall a time that you had sexual thoughts about your father. Okay, so in my mind, I'm like, okay, I'm going to just answer this shit. Let's see. Okay, I was 8 and he walked by me in his underwear and I was curious about the bulge in his pants. Good. Tell me details about it. So they want more. So I'm going to give you more. Okay. And then when we're finally done with getting that off, okay, getting that out of the way, I'm going to continue to hold the cans and I'm going to go, oh, okay, I'm glad I got that over with. Let's move on to the next question. Like, this is uncomfortable. Nope. Now I'm going to be the auditor. Good. Thank you. Recall an earlier similar time that you had sexual thoughts about your father. Are you fucking kidding me? So I have to keep going back. We're not done. We're not done. So then I have to keep going back. So I have to go, okay, I was 5 and I heard my parents having sex and I thought about sex. Good. Recall an earlier similar time that you had sexual thoughts about your father. Okay, so once we get to a point where I'm like, there isn't anything, I was 4. Guess what they're going to do? We're not done there, Reese. So now I'm going to be the auditor. Let's go past life. Because at some point, you get to a point every time you're in session where you go, I can't remember anything before that. I was 2. Good. So now we're going to go past life. Recall an earlier, and so we don't say we're going to go past life. The auditor implies it. I go, let's pretend, let's go back. I was 2. I can't remember anything else before that. Got it. Understood. I'll repeat the auditing command. Recall an earlier similar time that you had sexual thoughts about your father. But I was 2. I just told you I was 2. I don't have any memories. I can't. I don't know. Understood. Recall an earlier similar time, or I'll repeat, flunk, Reese. I'll repeat the auditing command. Recall an earlier similar time that you had sexual thoughts about your father. It never stops. It never stops. So I have to go past life now. I have to dig up and think up a time when I had sexual thoughts with, or maybe in 1728 that I had sex with my dad. Maybe I married my dad. So I have to come up with stuff. This doesn't end and you don't get to leave. This could go on. This is a string that you have to keep pulling. They call it pulling the string. You have to keep pulling it for hours and hours. So that's what happens in session. So I kind of went off on a tangent there, but I really am glad I did because it's very real. So I'm with this Colin and he's going, look around here and find something that doesn't remind you of Fred. And I'm in fucking tears. And I'm like, everything reminds me of Fred. There's nothing that doesn't remind me of, and I'm getting upset. And I was like, everything reminds me of him. And Colin goes, got it. I'll repeat the auditing command. Look around here and find something that doesn't remind you of Fred. And at this point, I was like, fuck you. This assist is done. I just lost my husband and I don't want to do this anymore. I understand. I'll repeat the auditing command. Look around here and find something that doesn't remind you of Fred. So at some point you get exhausted, you get it, they just wear you out and you just fall to the slavery of it and you just follow the commands. And that's what every Scientologist does. We just become soldiers at this point of there's no way out. It's a trap. The whole thing's a trap. And so that was my life. And that's what really, I was born into this. I didn't join it. That's what really gets you, I think. I hope that that's clear to everyone because it's hard to understand. Do these people believe in? No, not that I'm aware of. There's no incest, but L. Ron Hubbard was weirdly concerned about that. There was a lot of sexual questions with not so much family, but everything. Like, have you ever thought about having sex with a dog? No. Good. I'll repeat the auditing command. Have you ever had thought about having sex? Like, he was just hyper focused on weird shit. And that's why so many Scientologists don't have kinks. Like, we're pretty vanilla because, and again, this is why I have no boundaries on this channel. I come on here and people go, TMI, Reese. Oh my God, she talks about her sex life. Oh my God, she talks about, of course she does. I have no buttons on that. It doesn't bother me. I've been doing it my whole life. It's not to upset people. It's not for shock value. It's just something that I'm used to. I have had my entire life put on a magnoscope, right? I've had a flashlight shined in my face my whole life going, where were you? What were you doing? Who saw it? Who knew about it? Everybody in my whole Scientology existence was reporting me, knew about my life, going through my folders. There's no secrecy. And I think that's all I ask at this point. I don't like the real world, to be honest, because that's the hardest thing I've had to go through with friendships. There's secrecy. I've asked people straight up things and they lie to me. They look at me and they lie to me. And I know they're fucking lying about it. If I have to ask, I already know about it. So you might as well be honest. And that's been my problem being outside in the real world. That's my hardest thing being out in the real world. I know I'm being lied to people. And I feel like in Scientology, you're not. That's a weird thing to say, but it's a real thing for me. Trusting people that are non-Scientologists is hard because a lot of them are not truthful. They tell me one thing and they're doing another. They're doing shit behind my back and I fucking know it. I just know. I've never been wrong. Every time I've explored it to check to see, I've been right every fucking time. What makes them come up with these? It's L. Ron Hubbard. I don't know. That's what makes him come up with it. I'm sorry, guys. That got me upset. That's what really changed my perspective on Scientology was when Fred died. And I came home and I was like, I'm never going back there. I don't want to forget about Fred. You are not going to desensitize me to that. You've desensitized me to everything else. I can't be desensitized to the one person who showed me respect and love. I can't. At what point does this session end or move on to another topic? When you start to fake it enough to where your needle on the meter floats, is when it can end, but that can take a long time and you can't fake that. I have tried. So I can't tell you guys how many times I've been on a meter and they ask me a question and I immediately am like, I'm so glad we did this. I feel so much better. You have no idea how many times I've faked that. And I start thinking of like really happy movie scenes or something. I'm like, oh, I love that romantic comedy. Like I start thinking about things to try to get my needle to float. It's never worked. It's never worked. So it sucks because you go until you're done. You can't leave. You can't say, look, I'm really tired. I'm ready to be done today. This has been a lot. We've been in here for 9 hours and I'm ready to go home. Got it. I'll repeat the auditing command. They don't give a shit. It's over when it's over on their terms. They're the house. The house always wins. You don't. It's just how it is. It's set up that way. Creekside Acre. Did you ever have to answer sexual questions when married to Jeff? I know he wasn't in Scientology. Absolutely. Not only do you have to answer them on the meter, you have to write them. You have to hand write them. Yeah. I haven't watched my early YouTube videos. You have made massive progress, perhaps lots more to do, but please do give yourself credit for all growth. Thank you so much, Kazri. Thank you. I love you too. And guys, go watch the Lifeboat. Tommy, what time are you going live? Guys should go watch the Lifeboat, but I don't know. I think he's going live 2 hours from now, actually. He goes live at like 8 o'clock my time. And guys, I want to say if I cussed a lot, like I feel like I've been cussing a lot when it comes to this. I don't typically cuss that much on my channel. I think I'm so fired up about this. I just want to apologize because I think it's trashy and classless and I don't like it. 7:05 his time. And just to the new people, like I really don't like cussing. It's just, I think I'm just so heated about this. And I apologize. You have to pay for the sessions by the hour, right? Yes. Yeah. I can't remember how much it is, but it's a few $100 an hour. Absolutely, Zelda. Probably. We have all been cussing too. And Kathy at her base. Do auditors get audited? Absolutely. Everybody gets audited. Nobody gets off. Let me go back to these comments. Yeah, Lizzie B was spot on there. In 38 years in Scientology hasn't corrected anything, but I'm asking you not to attack Scientology with Aaron. But let me fix everything and shut the F up, Reese, while I pretend to fix this. Absolutely. Positive Life, she will get in trouble for you. Will she get in trouble for you playing this now? No, because we played it a year and a half ago. It's over. No, but thank you for your super chat. Just getting here. Hello. Hey, Donna Lane. Thank you for your super chat. Lifeboat. Listening to this makes me want to be a better boyfriend and fiance. Not sure I've been doing a good job. Thank you. It's a really sweet thing to say. I love that, actually. I always want to be better at everything I do, and I appreciate you saying that. That's really sweet. Was Kathy in a position where she could have actually fixed anything for you? No, not at all. She was just gathering data. Absolutely. Looked into the totality of the evidence because they will forward it to the proper state. I don't think so, Cece. And I can ask Tommy more about that. I'm sure he knows more. Do you believe if an ex-Scientologist sued for their PC folder, they would be able to get it? Or does it? Nope, you can't. It's like it says on their priest, penitent, something confidential information. I was told by the attorneys it would be really hard. It would have to be by a judge, and it would be very difficult to get. And something that's interesting, by the way, speaking of that, these guys are all, as far as I know, Aaron told me, these guys are mandatory reporters because they are, good night, Abigail. They are ordained ministers within the church. They're mandatory reporters. So think about all like the child stuff going on. Like, for instance, me at 14 sleeping with a 24-year-old. No one reported that. They all knew about it. Nobody reported that. My own dad knew about it. Reese, your strength. Hey, Ty's channel. Congratulations again, by the way, on your new position. Your strength, bravery, and resilience are inspiring. No matter what challenges come your way, you face them with courage and determination. Thank you so much. I love you, Ty's channel. Thank you. And Amanda here knows Kathy. Kathy is such a fraud. All that Charlie Brown talk and nothing but what she promised not to do. And what's fascinating too, hey, Calamity Jane Doe, what also, and I will cut this off because we're going pretty far into it. Love you, Lifeboat. And thank you for that. That was a really sweet thing to say. I loved it. And just thank you for being here, Tommy. I did not expect you to stay through the whole thing. I know you're busy. I know you have a lot going on. So thank you for being here with me through it. It meant a lot. I can't remember what I was going to say now. Dang it. I don't know. Kid. Sometimes you can't express without a good cuss word. Oh, I know what I was going to say. This also proves, just I'll leave you guys with this because they say there's, by the way, I know some people are leaving. Can you hit subscribe? YouTube often unsubscribes you. Please hit subscribe before you go. Come on. The whole disconnection thing, I never heard from Kathy again. Does that tell you something? Does that tell you anything? How much did she want to help me? How many times did she say, I want to help you? She never contacted me again. I'm so thankful, kid. I'm so grateful that I have, here, let's just sit together. Use your words. I'm so grateful that I have these oh, none of them would. No members would be honest and cooperate. Good night, Noah, right? I find it very fascinating. Again, it pulls the curtain back, right? I'm so grateful that I have these audios because it tells you what phonies these people are. It tells you how much they put their money where their mouth is, right? Reese, I want to help you. I want to help you through this as long as you follow my rules. Are you willing to never speak to Erin Smith Levin again? She said that, right? So it just, I want to end with that it's fascinating to me that she never followed through. She never said anything to me ever again. And I knew that woman my entire life. I knew her since I was born. I just think that's an interesting point. And I'm sure you already came to that point on your own, but I wanted to point it out. It's been a while since I told you I'm proud of you. You are strong. Riley's human. I love you. Thank you for saying that. I really love you, Riley's human. Thank you for your super chat. Guys, Helena, I thought you weren't going to be here. I love you, Helena. Get back to your friends. Guys, yeah, Woofy, it's interesting, right? It's something to keep in mind. And again, I think it's important that we replay these calls regularly. Sorry, that's my furnace and it is super loud. I think it's important that we replay these calls for this reason. It really shines light more this time than before. I'm way more emotional about this. I'm a range of emotions about this more than I ever have been. And that's a good thing. It's therapeutic. It'll be healing for all of us. But it does pull back the curtain. And I think that's important. And we're going to do the same thing with the jesters. Guys, thank you for staying with me. Thank you. This was a long stream, but you supported me and you stayed with me. And it's so much easier for me to do this when I know my people are here to support me with me through it. It just, I don't know why, it makes a big difference for me. I love you, Lizzie B. I love you guys. I mean it. Thank you for your super chats tonight. You had amazing questions. Thank you for becoming members. And thank you for your wisdom. Thank you for being here, most of all. Woofy, thank you. Guys, I mean it. You made me laugh through this. I got emotional through this, and I felt safe the whole time with all of you. So thank you. It means so much to me. You cannot put a price on that. I love you, Amanda, dear. Creekside Acre, I'm glad I got to see you. I love you too, Justine. I appreciate this so much, guys. And share this if you can. Share it. Share it with one person that you know even. We should spread the word about this because we have so much evidence to back us up. This is not just a story. I have evidence to back it up. Okay? I love you all. Again, here comes Fred, and thank you for listening to me tonight. Has anyone ever attacked one of the auditors? Not to my knowledge, Corn Pope. That's never happened. I love you too, Lizzie B. Thank you. You were spot on tonight, Lizzie. Love you, Liz Tricks. I hope you're feeling better. Good night, Joel Sachs. Mods, thank you for being here, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Thanks, guys.